What up guys, welcome back to the channel. Galaxia here, and today we're doing a resource overview of Crystal Isles. We're going to show you some points where you can find some really important resources, not in any order. So we're going to start off with a huge oil spawn that was found, and this one is absolutely massive. It is at 27.2, 65.2. If you do find yourself enjoying this, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well for me. Really help me out and show that you're really enjoying these Crystal Isles videos. So, come up to this with a pickaxe and harvest it away. So as you can see, we get oil and metal, which is pretty damn nice. I mean, these are only just 1x rates, so if you that one's not harvestable, okay. So yeah, we get some oil and metal from these rocks, which is pretty nice. You can do a little metal run at the same time. There is absolutely loads of these rocks here, and as you can see, just hitting a few of them just to show which ones are harvestable, because some of them aren't. The absolutely massive ones that look oily, that they're not, but the most of them, for the most of it, they are harvestable. So this is a huge spawn, and it goes all the way around the corner here, off to another lake there. Now this is next to Eldritch Isles, as you can see on the left, and the cherry blossom spawns on the left there. So 3163 is where this is at. Now also, just so you know, just give you a bit of reference where we are now, because the floating islands are in the background there. So just so you know, guys, as well as these oil nodes that are here, and the metal and the oil that you can get from here, which is very, very handy in itself, kill two birds with one stone, you also get these crystals because you're near Eldritch Isle. And as you can see, I have covered these in another video. I have covered these in another video. You do get all your gems, element shards, and whatnot from these. So that's because you're near Eldritch Isle. So you can also get a small gem run as well, which is also very handy. Also, this next area we're going to, 29.3, 37.4, is also not too far away, but there's a lot of silica pearls and rich metal nodes here in the water. So you can either have your Anki do this, or get a mantis, or it's probably best to do with an Anki. So just coming out here just to check any more. If you keep going out into that water just off in the distance there where that drop is, there is so many silica pearls. There's like huge clusters of them. So it's a really good area to get your silica pearls from here as well. So coming back around here, there is also a lot more metal and some more silica pearls. Just having a quick look around here to see if there's any more. But yeah, as you can see, there's some more rich nodes there, and that's where we started. There's rich nodes, and there's some silica pearls in between them, and some more rich nodes there. So very good area. Now, this is just in a cherry blossom spawn area on the side of the mountain at 38.8 and 65.2. This metal is all on the side of a mountain. From what I've seen so far on the map, there isn't like your older maps where there isn't a centralized area for metal and certain resources. It's spread out in big clumps across the map like this. So this would probably be an RG and an Anki method. So at 40.6, 72.5, just thought I'd throw this in there. There's a little hidey hole, not exactly very visible from the outside. You could probably fit a small base in here just to get yourself started. There's some metal in here, a nice little enclosed back bit here. There's only one way into this and one way out. But this, I just thought I'd put this in there because I came across it, and I thought I'd just throw it in there for you. And it's a nice little area. There's a little bit of water and some metal to get you going. So 46.6 and 75. Now I'm just doing a little area on the floating islands. Now a lot of these little islands have little metal clusters like these dotted all over them. Wasn't sure if these were metal as well, but no, they're just normal rocks. So these are dotted around on all the islands. There's some decent little metal spawns on there, but to get to these, you're going to need a flyer as well as an Anki. And so I'm just flying around. And these orange crystals there, those ones that you can harvest with them with the Anki or the Dodic. And you get like certain crystals: rough crystal, faceted crystal, pure crystal, and your normal crystal. And the other crystals is what you use to tame the crystal wyverns, which I'm going to do a separate video on as a whole, because there's 4 different foods you can give them. So the big flat area here, if you want to put a base on, it's quite a big area. So you need to be a relatively big tribe to get enough coverage on there. But as you can see, there is absolutely tons of metal dotted around on these islands, which is great. But as I said, there is no central area on the map or no main point on the map to say, right, this is the metal farming area. There's just a lot of metal dotted all over the place. So as we come down here, again, we've got these little islands. Some of these are quite flat, actually, to build on, which is pretty handy. So you can either have your main base up here, you can have a breeder base up here, if you are centralised around these islands. There are some metal dotted around here. There's some little like cutaways in the rock where you could probably set up a starter base. So at 50.7 and 79.2, there's another little cutaway there that you can probably set up a little cut 1x1 or something, or 2x2. Now here is another area, so it's 45.1, 78.2. This is in the side of one of the big floating islands. So you can see there's water just below, and you come in here, and this has, I feel it's a bit like an aberration zone, apart from that crystal wyvern. But there's some rock drake nests, as you can see. I mean, ignore the levels; it's just single player. Some rock drake nests. Just do gamma up there. So as you can see, there's a few rock drakes. If you here. A couple nests, but this area goes up into, I like to look at it as an aberration sort of area. There's a lot of mushrooms, there's a lot of aberration style plants and stuff like that. So you've got the plants there that heal you. There's a nice little cutaway bit here and again, and not exactly visible from the outside, but there's, again, you've got these plants to help heal up, and it could be a handy little place to have an outpost or something. It's not exactly very visible, but this area is again absolutely covered in metal, as you will see. There's also a lot of other resources around here which can make this area quite a decent farming area. I don't know, you'd have to let me know if how you get on with it when the map is eventually released. I will be doing more videos on the Crystal Isles as it releases, so sort of do videos on the finished products of what's actually being released on the 4th of June. So you probably could set up a big base in here if you really wanted to. Still tons of metal kicking about here. Crystal, got all your mushrooms, and there's trees, thatch, plenty of plants for fibre. So you probably could set up a pretty effective base in here if you're good at building, and you can work around the terrain, because the terrain is not exactly very forgiving for a big base, unfortunately. So on to the next place is the massive snow/ice mountain. There is so much metal over here. It's not anywhere near the same as like Blue Ob on the island, but you've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trees. There's loads of metal things. That's 36.5, 50.3 for this area. Now, just underneath this mountain, there is a cave. I have done another video on that, which is coming up soon. And this area, very effective, I'd say. For you do have your obsidian, you have this crystal up here, I believe. There's also an aberration terminal there. You can make element and charge batteries, which is also handy. So just below here as well is another entrance to like an underwater bit. So 29.8, 48.3. There's a tunnel just down below me, which leads to an underground tunnel, which will be coming up, is either in a video or coming up. Where you can get element ore, which is pretty insane, and there's thousands of, like hundreds of thousands of silica pills down there, which is really good if you've got an angler. But there's a lot of nasty shit down there, I will say that now. So what I'm going to show you now is a little cave that I came across before, and I didn't do a video on it at the time because I was doing a video for something else. But this network is not finished. There is issues with the mesh in this cave at the minute, but that's not to say that it's going to be the same when it's released. So so this way leads into the massive cave that is under the mountain, or in the mountain. Well, if you come down here, you come to this, and a huge area, which is very tall, very wide, very open. Now this is at 31.4 and 52.3. So you can probably block both ways off and be pretty secure in here from things like extinction titans and whatnot. But as I said, this cave network here is not quite finished. So again, it's not quite finished project. So don't take this as solid evidence. But that is just right there, next to the mountain. So this next area I'm about to show you next to the swamp is probably the highest concentration of metal that I've found on the map. It's not the, I don't think it's like the main one, but there's a lot of metal around here, as you've just seen there. Now these things here, like termite mounds or those Titan drones or whatever, however you pronounce it. Yeah, so the Titan drones are in those, and they're supposed to be like your ant hills or your termite mounds or whatever, as I said. But these actually, if you can harvest these, believe it or not, and you managed to get me wyverns stuck, bloody wyverns. But you can harvest these with a pickaxe and a hatchet. Now you do get a couple of resources from them, which can be very useful instead of going over to scorched earth. So you get your clay and sand from these, and also chitin, whichever one it is, I don't know. Everyone pronounces it differently these days. So it looks like the pickaxe is slightly better for sand, but yeah, you can, I think you can harvest them with an Anki. I will have to test that at a later date and do a video on that for you, just to update you. But as you can see, this area is full of metal. There is a lot of metal on these little ridges and these mountain, or these hills. As you go further round as well, there are some more metal at the bottom of these little hills and stuff like that. And there's also little, like, I think they're supposed to be wolf dens or lion dens or something. But you go down into them and there's like, it's like a pocket, and there'll be about 15 saber-tooths in there, or 15 wolves. And if you kill them, there's a lot of metal underneath there. So that's also a good way to find an absolute buttload of metal. So here at 59.2 with 65.9, you can find quite a nice little source of sulfur. There we are on the map in the red tree zone, which is next to a volcano. So if you hit these trees, you do get your charcoal, like you do on the one if you hit the ones off center. But also you get very small amounts of sulfur, which sulfur nodes are not exactly common on here at the minute. But if you, I think I'd have to do all this on a ferry and whatnot to see which one's going to be the best to get sulfur from these trees. But it's handy that you can get a bit of sulfur from these, as I haven't seen too many sulfur nodes on the map, unfortunately. So just flying over this water bit and near the snow, as you can see, there's pearls dotted around in big clusters. So we're just heading up to the Great North Forest up this way. Now this water is very clear. Don't know if that'll stay the same, but as you can see, there is huge clusters of pearls down in there. Now you do get your standard megalodons, and you get the occasional spino, and I think I've seen jellyfish in here as well for some reason whatsoever. But there is so many silica pearls around here, and if you drop down into there, that leads into the tunnel that goes under the map, which is in another video. So just fast forward a little bit, we're coming over to the snow, and along here, as you can be expected, you can find penguins. Just all along here, which is a good source of organic polymer, but if you see another video, you won't need to harvest penguins for organic polymer. So they're all along here. Now just went to check out on this iceberg here to see if there was anything interesting, any extra, I don't know, silica pearls or oil or anything like that, but there's not. It's just a big open iceberg, which I suppose you could probably put like a water base out here for breeding things or whatever. I suppose that's a bit old school really to do that sort of stuff, but it could be done. So the water is still very clear at the minute, but there's a lot of little trenches and stuff down there which is full of nasty stuff. Now on to another huge metal spawn at 7638. This is the Griffin Trench, which I've done a video separately on. Now this one is absolutely stacked with metal. You do also have nests which you can get your gems and stuff like that in as well. But if you want to come down here with a crab and a couple Ankies, make sure you've got some protection, because there is so many griffins down here. But also there is so many rich metal nodes. As you can see, they are just all completely stacked on top of each other inside the cliffs and underneath rocks. You could easily get a ridiculous amount of metal down here. So even under there, you can go and get some from there. But if again, you would definitely need protection from this many Griffins, as you do obviously get your high level ones here as well, which can do a bit of damage to you. So a Rex or a Giga, ideal. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and also subscribe if you haven't already. So hope you stay safe, guys, and take it easy.